Alright, on to the final lap. Ah, dang it, there's the parts lock. Oh well. I've got an X-ray trick right there. But thankfully we didn't have much to worry about that parts lock right here, so we're all good. Alright, our X-ray trick. Looks like my buddy Tails is gonna come in first place this time, but I'll take second. Alright, let's see what happens now in the next race. Alright, on to the Vegan Rocks. Okay, so anyways, next up I'm going to use the GP Accumulator.
Alright, bring it on!
I got a good start. Oh, there's an air rod. Alright, that's perfect timing for it, so we can use that to fly through these rings. And we managed to gain 230 GP from that, which is very insane. It's more than enough right here for what we can hold up to right here. But flying through those rings at the beginning of each lap on this track could be really handy to gain a whole lot of GP. Alright, S-rank trick. I'm very going to grab those 100 rings, and we also do get a GP gauge up. Alright, let's go to lap number 2. Alright, let's fly for some more rings. We gained 229 GP out of that. That was a double A rank trick. And we now have a GP gain up. So now we can gain a lot more GP right here, which will definitely be handy. We unfortunately just got a collar trap, but we didn't have much to worry about there since we were going down a straightaway. So we're now on the final lap, and we're going to go ahead and fly through these rings once again. And with the help of that GP gained up, we gained 343 GP right there. I got a double S rank trick. I'm coming through the last turn as we make our way down the straightaway. But Shadow's gonna barely get that win in first place. Oh well, we still tried our best. Either way though, we can't complain too much about us getting second. Alright, let's keep it going as we head to the next race. Alright, on to the Gigan device. And next up, I'm going to use the Wind Catcher.
Bring it on!
I got a good start. I got a GP gauge up. We got some rings over here that we can fly through. And we gained 113 GP right there. That's not bad. Alright, let's go to the right here. I've got a magnetic barrier. I'm trying to bring out a gravity dive right here. Alright, there's an RGP gauge up. What? How in the world did I fall off the track like that? That was not supposed to happen. Akari was trying to do my best right here to go for that turn as good as I could right here, but unfortunately did not turn quite hard enough right there to land safely on the track. That really is unfortunate. Alright, we gained 112 GP with those rings that we just flew through there. Alright, X-ray trick. Alright, let's go into the final lap. And there's another GP gauge up. Oh boy, we're gonna get the low speed, but thankfully it wasn't on there for long, right at the point when we had another opportunity to fly through those rings. Well, I was lucky on my part right there. I double S-strike trick. Oh shoot! I just ran right into that wall right there, right as I collided with that obstacle. And that's gonna screw up my chances right there to win on this track. Unbelievable. But we still ended up getting second place, which is not bad at all. Okay. Anyways, we have 5 more races left to go in this segment. Let's go to the next one. Alright, on to the Crimson Crater. And we're gonna go ahead and use the Magic Broom this time.
Alright, bring it on!
Alright, here we go. Alright, that's a very nice start. Got an X-Rank trick. And this time we get a double S-Rank trick. Alright, we're going to bring out that Vision Trap. And get a double A-Rank trick. Alright, 20 rings. There's an RX-Strike trick, and we do have that parts lock ready now. So we'll go and use that in just a moment after we fly through those rings. I was trying to go for the 100 rings over here. Alright, we got them, and there's the status trap. So just like that, I was able to use all my gear changes in the first lap right here, which is very impressive. Anyways, let's go hit some barrels here with this scrappy dive. Ah, dang it. I could not avoid that wall right there at all. That's alright. Alright, 2. Alright, double S-Rank trick. Alright, let's get back to flying through these rings. Well, that was a very impressive X-Strike trick right there that I just did. Oh, I missed out on that item. Oh well. Alright, now on to the final lap. There's a double S-Strike trick. Alright, let's once again fly through these rings. Another double S-Strike trick. And it looks like Shadow came in first right there on that race. But we got second place on that one, so still pretty good. Alright, Alright, let's see how we're going to do in this next race. Alright, anyways, let's go and move on to the security corridor. And I'm going to use the Wanta skates for this one.
Bring it on!
Let's do it. I got a pretty good start right there.
See ya!
Time to go ahead and grind on these electrifying rails. Oh boy, we unfortunately get the low speed. That is not good. So I can't use my gravity dive right away at this spot. Alright, but thankfully we did still get to use a pretty good time right when the low speed ran out. Alright, lap 2. Alright, now we can have a better chance to try to hit those spam plates with this gravity dive. Alright, that was very good. Alright, we're headed into the final lap now. Alright, there's the rain cap off. So I can carry 50 additional rings now. Ah, damn, I just missed the item. Rouge came in first that time. And looks like we're gonna get second place again, so not bad. Alright, 3 more races left to go right now in this segment. And now we're gonna head off to Astra Babylon. Okay. Anyways, this time I'm going to use the Angel Devil.
All right, bring it on.
Alright, very nice start there. I got an X-ray trick. Very good gravity dive there. Alright, I'll take 30 GP. Oh, we can get a chance to fly through some rings. That was another good gravity dive. Now let's see what happens on lap 2. Alright, there's 30 rings, and we got our gear change ready. Let's see what we got. It's a devil. Alright. I just barely hit that block right on time right there with my gravity dive. Alright, final lap. Low on GP, I really could use more. Oh, I'll take a special move. That's very nice. Oh boy, I almost fell off there. That was close. Alright, looks like Knuckles came in first. Alright. We got 3rd place right there. I'd say that was pretty good in terms of a performance. So we still have 2 more races to go in the segment. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the 80s Boulevard. And this time I'm going to use the throttle.
Bring it on!
Alright, here we go. Alright, got myself a nice start there. Alright, we got one of our gear changes ready. Let's see what we got. Max speed up. Alright, that'll be good. Alright, there's 10 rings. Just missed the item right there. Alright, let's go to lap 2 now. Alright, got 20 rings, and there's another gear change ready to go. Let's see what we get right here after we take this jump. Another max speed up, nice. Oh no! Darn it, we unfortunately get the low speed right there. That does not help at all. And how dare you take away my item for what I was going for, Shadow? Alright, follow out. Alright, our last gear change is ready. I'll go ahead and use that after we take this job. And we get another max speed up. Okay. So it looks like all 3 of our gear changes that we use for max speed ups. Alright, there's 10 rings. Alright, we're making our way to the finish line right now. There we go! This time we will get first place. That's awesome. And Dr. Eggman came in last. Too bad for him. Alright, time for the final race now in this segment. So we're going to finish things off at the 90s Boulevard. And the last extreme gear that I'm going to use is the rainbow. It's always an appropriate extreme gear to end things off with. Especially with the fact that it has unlimited gear changes.
Alright, bring it on!
Alright, let's go! Alright, let's go hit those billboards here at the Gravity Dive. Alright, let's head over to lap 2. And we got the grind ready. Oh, special move! Alright. We can have an opportunity to grab onto the ladder from this helicopter. Very good. Alright, let's see what happens on the final lap. I unfortunately just lost a little bit of speed right there due to me hitting that wall so hard in my landing. Alright, magnetic barrier. We do have an air right now, but I want to grind on this rail first, right here, before I bring that out. Alright, let's go and make our way to the finish line. And Dr. Eggman was the one that came in first. We ended up in 3rd place right there in that last race, so it's not a bad way to end things off. But anyways, I do say the segment was very fun overall while it lasted. We did have a lot of good finishes from where we ended up at, but not a whole lot of wins from what I was expecting right here. But either way, I still had a very good time. But anyways, that is going to do it for Sonic Riders Zero Gravity for the Nintendo Wii as part of my 2026 Easter special. But we still have some more games to play, and I will see you all for the next segment right after this, so stay tuned.